local member, Councillor Paul Dowson, County Councillor Paul Dowson. Good morning, Councillor Dowson. Right, now I heard you, but you're like you're in a different room. Are you there? Oh, I heard something.
There we are. I'll turn the speaker off.
Right, I can hear you now, a lot clearer. Right, okay, thank you. You go ahead. I can see you. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm not a planning expert, and I don't have any qualifications in planning. I didn't go to planning college, and I'm not a member of the planning committee. There are officers employed by the council who are qualified experts on planning-related matters. I'm here today for the fourth time at committee to do the one job I was elected to do, a very specific responsibility, and that's to represent the wishes of the people living in my town. Whilst many in my position would sidestep or avoid that responsibility, in this type of situation, I'm here today to do my job. Committee members, you are the top tier of all things planning in Pembrokeshire. There are planning officers in a planning department responsible for providing planning advice and for implementing and acting upon the decisions made by you at this committee. The application was called in by me as I felt it required more than just delegated authority by officers. That's my job. That's what the people in charge of us all, the voting public, expect of me and what they tasked me to do. The advice from officers was to approve the application, advice based on a set of regulations which have no flexibility, which are prescriptive, and have no consideration for local depth of feeling or impact on personal lives. The Civic Trust objected to the application for a number of valid reasons. We heard Councillor Manning's objections on behalf of the Town Council, and I objected on behalf of the people who live in Pembroke Dock. If Carlsberg did objections, well, you know the rest. At the last committee meeting, we heard some very strong and passionate debate for refusing this application from local members, Councillor Hall and Councillor Wilcox as well. Again, two people carrying out the job they were elected to do. Our bosses, the people of Pembroke Dock, have said they don't want this tanker park in this location. And for clarity, I'll repeat that the people of Pembroke Dock do not want this tanker park in this location. At the last meeting, the unanimous decision was committee were minded to refuse the application. This is where council structure and disjointedness merge together and become what's been common practice for as long as I can remember. It was stated that minded to refuse meant we would return at the next committee furnished with a set of specific reasons for the refusal. This would mean the qualified planning experts would use their skills and knowledge to tie up and reinforce the reasons for refusal in order to make that decision a conclusion to this application process. The report shows no signs of any such thing taking place. In all honesty, it demonstrates a clear example, if one were ever needed, of the tail still wagging the dog in Pembrokeshire. My interpretation of the content is such that it completely disregarded the decision of the committee and led itself to concentrating specifically on making it quite clear the initial recommendation to approve is the only option available. A list of consequences for not approving and no mention of case law or refusal options as mentioned at the last meeting. It all comes across as a how dare you report, in my opinion. This week I was advised that my presentation should deal with planning issues only, so it is. But I have previously stated a few facts, such as deliberate destruction of bat boxes on the sites. Don't know by who, but it happened. They were repaired and replaced. Foraging and commuting bats don't have the same level of protection as bats who make their home there. I also mentioned the pond, which has existed since I was a kid and was teeming with newts and other amphibious life, had been filled in and the creatures were no longer there. This is simply an observation which, despite several mentions, has never been referred to or repeated in any of the follow-up documents. I'm not going to restate the case for refusal of this application, neither am I going to change my mind on this application. I don't have the right to do this when the people of the town haven't changed their minds. Doing so now, after deciding to refuse the plan, would show a huge weakness and lack of integrity on all our parts, which is something that I wouldn't entertain. Changing the decision today is not right. It does not inspire confidence in the roles we are all expected to undertake when we're elected. It undermines the whole principle of having a committee to make the difficult decisions. It gives validity to the general opinion that this is an officer-led authority, and basically changing the previous decision is a sign of weakness and undermines the role of councillor in the perception of the public. Criterion Way is the wrong place for this operation. This tanker park will put businesses, some of which have existed for 30 years, out of business. Our roads and the flow of traffic will suffer negatively and detrimentally. You already know this. You have already made your decision on this. It's all about honour and respect, and I can do no more. I've stood up for the people to this point where we are today. It's now with the committee members to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dawson. Does any committee member have any